This is Dick Morris. You know, the powers of state government have been so eroded over the last couple of decades that basically all a governor does is implement federal mandates and taxes local people to pay for them. When you look at the fact that a state government spends about a third of its money, or 40% of its money, on education, and about 20% of its money on Medicaid, and education is controlled by the unions and the union contract, and Medicaid is controlled by the federal government, and they can't make any changes in it. And so the two-thirds of the state budget is literally out of the control of the elected officials. You don't have a 10th Amendment anymore. You don't have a federalist system anymore. You have a federal government and some unions, and together they control the most vital services for our families and for our children. We're going to change that this year. That is the true import of what's going on in Wisconsin and what's going on throughout the United States. That's what Kasich is doing in Ohio, what Governor Daniels is doing in Indiana, Governor Corbett in Pennsylvania, Governor Scott in Florida. And it's why it is so important. Because what they're doing is saying to the unions, you can only collectively bargain wages and wage-related benefits. You can't tell us what teachers to hire and fire. You can't tell us that we have to pay teachers based on seniority instead of on merit. You can't tell us that we disregard whether their students are improving or not on their test scores. We won't let you tell us how to run the schools. We're going to do that. You can bargain over wages, but that's it. And then on the other hand, what the Republicans are going to do in the debt limit fight, I believe, and I hope and I urge, is to say we are not going to raise this debt limit until you roll Medicaid back, not Medicare, Medicaid back to its 2008 levels and give the money to the states as a block grant for them to spend as they wish. Medicaid has gone up by 54% in the last 2 years of the Obama administration. Medicaid, more than anything else, is driving this horrific deficit number. And what Congress needs to do is to put the states in charge of the Medicaid program. You don't want to pay for Viagra, you don't have to. You don't want to cover people making up to $60,000 a year, you don't have to. And that is the fundamental move that the Republican House is going to make. And between your restoration of local control over Medicaid and you're giving the governors control over the schools, we're going to restore our federalist system. We're going to have a revolution in the power of the states. And for the first time really in the last 60 or 70 years, we're really going to move power back to the local unit of government, which is where the framers intended it to be all along. Thanks for watching.